Hey everybody, welcome back to Your Free TV, and it is Tuesday, April 7th, 2026. A huge day here. Very exciting. So I'm going to jump right in here with my disclaimer here on Your Free TV. This video is for entertainment purposes only. It is protected by the United States Constitution, protecting free speech, as well as the Sullivan Act and reporting. It is not intended to bully or harass anyone, never to incite violence, hatred, or lawlessness of any kind. It doesn't give legal, medical, or financial advice, and there are further disclaimers in the description below. So glad to be back with you here on the channel. I want to thank you so much for being with me. It is just incredible day as predicted. And so we're going to jump right into the news. I will plug for my great sponsor at the end of the video, which great new things going on there as well. But I'll put on the glasses. I want to say thank you so much to Nancy, Lindy, and Kathy for supporting the channel. Thank you so much for your donations, and to everybody supporting monthly. You make it happen, and I'm so excited, okay, about what's going on right now. So basically, as I put in the description, or excuse me, in the title of, the MAGA, we're having MAGA TDS, MAGA Trump derangement syndrome, like we've never seen before on steroids, by the people who don't understand that we're waging a massive war against cartel Babylon, against the city of London, against the stranglehold to stop energy dominance and the survival of America through what is the energy dominance that America actually has right now, but has to be able to make it happen through what is this massive counterpoint of Iran that has been used by since the creation of the Muslim Brotherhood and the overthrow of Iran through all of their different machinations that have happened by the City of London and our deep state, CIA, etc., is being overturned. And so tonight we have Trump coming out with huge news. And I'm hoping that the people with the MAGA, with the Trump derangement syndrome, might come to their senses and understand that this is the point of trusting Trump and trusting what is going on here as we're watching this unfold. So let's look into what Trump just said a few minutes ago as I'm going onto this video. Basically, what he said is that we have a new situation. So no massive Armageddon situation of the blowing up of Iran, as I said yesterday in my video, that won't be happening. And this is why. So what we have is Trump calling out Asim Munir, the field marshal there, that is also connected with the Prime Minister of Pakistan, and that basically this is a favor returned by Pakistan for what Trump has been doing here with the Board of Peace, creating a whole new economic prosperity model there in the Middle East. And this involving Iran being taken down multiple notches and the taking out of the City of London's control of it. And so what do we have? We have a ceasefire coming out before the 8 p.m. situation that Trump had put out full bore on Truth Social, that everybody's hair on fire about, and basically saying that we're going to open the Strait of Hormuz for 2 weeks. Now, Iran hasn't come out and necessarily fully agreed with this yet, but we do already have Israel saying that they will agree to the 2-week ceasefire, because they are, of course, the loose cannon, the problem here that could always interrupt what this could be. But Israel has come out and said they agree to these terms. There is a 10-point peace plan proposal that is out there in the works. It is not, it's definitely not what America wants right now, not what Trump wants, but they're working on it and basically saying, open the straits for 2 weeks and we keep talking and we don't do any more operations. And so this is huge. It is a very interesting development. And I would say that it is very connected to so many things that happened today. And of course, we get the huge leaking of information to the Wall Street Journal with the Maggie Haberman article that came out, basically very pointed trashing of Trump. And we'll get to that in a moment. But let's stick with this. we're seeing that we even in the markets, there was no hair on fire around Trump's what was supposed to be the 8 p.m. Massive attack on Iran. Again, as I said, this is all misdirection, and this is about basically trying to get the straits open here for a couple weeks, and as they continue to be able to negotiate how Iran is going to stop being under the control of the City of London. And this is huge, it's massive, and it is a huge timing here, as tomorrow you have Rutte out of, coming as the Secretary General of NATO, coming to meet with Trump after their whole discussions with the EU and NATO, and their failure to show up in this. We had France come out against the UN's proposal to use force in the Iran situation, basically granting himself in France the pushing through of a vessel to go through the Straits of Hormuz and expose France as being, again, traitors in the NATO pact, and going against the Trump doctrine here. And the Trump doctrine is the USA is going to prevail as an energy dominant power in the world outside of the City of London's control. And we're going to redo what is happening here, and Iran can get on board and prosper hugely, hugely with the new board of peace. Trump has said, I want Iran on the board of peace. We can prosper. We need to get rid of this stranglehold of cartel Babylon with their globalism regime plan. And so what we have here is that um, Asim Munir and Prime Minister of Pakistan, that the Straits of Hormuz will be open for 2 weeks, that they will basically, it's a double-sided ceasefire during this time that Trump has come out and said that he agrees to. And Israel, who's the loose cannon here, has also supposedly come out and agreed to it too. Not supposedly, but they have. That always, is always dodgy. And so this is what we're seeing, and the timing of it is what I want to emphasize is that there is, this Rutte coming to the U.S. There's huge stakes here with Greenland, and then the Bilderberg meeting coming up over the weekend. Very, very intense, as we're also seeing Victor Orban's election in Hungary coming up on this weekend as well, on Saturday. And we had J.D. Vance in Hungary today, giving a huge speech, talking about very important things we'll get into in a moment, uh, about how Hungary is standing against the globalist regime of the EU. Okay, and this plays into NATO, it plays into everything, right? And we know the CCP weighs in here as Trump is gearing up here to be meeting up in mid-May with Xi. And of course, the opening of the Straits for a couple of weeks gives China their oil going through there as well. And people are always hair on fire. Oh, I'm not a CCP person. I don't want, China to be enslaving the people and harvesting their organs and creating slave camps at all. But I also know that there's a strategy here that Trump is doing. And when Macron came out and said against the UN resolution to use force in Iran, let me just see if I can find that here real quick. That it was Macron who came out and objected to this measure in the UN for it to basically condone the use of force in Iran. He basically said, we believe in international law, and meaning the rules-based order of the EU controls everything through the City of London, and the rules of the World Trade Organization. And what do we have today? We had Jameson Greer, who is basically the trade czar and the tariff czar underneath Besant, but in that trying to thread that needle here as the U.S. is trying to resuscitate the economy and doing incredible, massive job, is that he said the World Trade Organization actually it should almost be null and void because it is so biased. It is so anti-American. It only basically steals everything from us, and it all supports these countries that are um, that have massive amounts of money and massive less amounts of trade deficit that are just constantly pummeling us. And Jameson Greer, of course, is basically saying the World Trade Organization needs to be entirely redone if it's going to exist at all. And that's the whole thing that's going on here as we're watching this financial war go on. The USA trying to be a sovereign power against the globalists, against the regime of cartel Babylon, the bankster elite, the trillionaires, right? And so we're watching this happen all in real time, as Jameson Greer gave this at the Hudson Institute today. It might have been yesterday, where he gave this whole speech about how the World Trade Organization is a piracy organization meant to steal everything from the USA and to give all the money and all of the options and the legs up to these countries that are benefiting, that don't deserve to benefit, when we are the massive power of the money, the creation, the manufacturing, all of it. Not that we have manufacturing yet, but we still create all of the money that is stolen from this country, even after the massive depletion. So this is what's happening. I'll talk about JD Vance at the Victor Orban event today, because this plays into all of it as Trump is getting into this negotiation, perfectly timed, this whole situation with Iran, where now oh, we're in a 2-week limbo. You guys get to decide, NATO, you get to decide, EU, what side you're on, because now we're in a 2-week standstill, and they're going to open the straits, and that's the agreement. And so you have to decide if you're with the USA or if you are against us. And this all has to do again with Greenland. Trump has been negotiating back channels, not even, but just quietly, with the president of Denmark about military presence, expansion in Greenland. And if not that Greenland becomes part of the U.S., it is that the U.S. has massive military rights and also treaty rights to be in Greenland for expansion of what is the Arctic and what is coming with hemispheric defense, and the build out of what is going to be the technology to do with the Golden Dome. That's a whole issue that is massive. Nobody wants a giant skin creating a simulation across the world, but it's already happening. And so who's going to be in control of it? This is the problem, because it's already happening. We all feel it. We know it. We experience it every day. And so this is all going on in the perfect timing here of the Trump, all of his threats, the MAGA TDS, massive MAGA Trump derangement syndrome. He's destroying the world. Everybody's going to starve to death. Billions will die. He's committing war crimes, genocide. I mean, it's just insane, off the charts. I'm so amazed that these people in the mainstream alternative media are literally just, again, I'll just say it again, that they thought there would be no war to somehow achieve these incredible, like, it's either Trump is like a superstar, amazing superpower, like what do you call it? Like he came out of Marvel Comics, and he's just, can do it without doing anything. To brainwash, the trillionaires to give up their money and just allow the U.S. to thrive, after the complete plan was to demolish the USA, and had been going that direction for decades. And the creation of the Muslim Brotherhood in the city of London, the creation of the using of this whole situation of Iran and it being taken over by the City of London for not just 47 years, but beyond that. And that what we're getting now is Iran being invited into this border peace situation, into the remake of what is sovereign countries doing trade, okay, that is economic trade and economic uh, revolution, basically, to have sovereign nations take down these globalist powers. And the USA being a huge hegemon with energy dominance. That's what Trump's plan is. That's what's being executed here. And that's what we're seeing. And so, what we saw with Orban and JD Vance there today, very interesting. Um, we have the Hungary again. This is during Bilderberg this weekend. Is the Hungary election? We know Zelensky saying that they're going to murder Orban. All these crazy things being said, and of course they want to, because still Zelensky is losing behind the times here. That he's losing the EU. They have no power. They have no money to give. No weapons to give. It's getting more and more dire. And so, what we're seeing here with Orban and JD Vance, today they're giving basically a rally speech for Orban as the elections are coming up. This all that's happening today with Trump's announcement, with the ceasefire, with these 2 weeks, this is a massive negotiation period, not just with Iran, with the TDS crazy MAGA crowd. This is about negotiating huge shifts, okay, in global control, in the U.S. Claiming its power and dominance against NATO, against the EU, international, right? The communist regime, Fifth Reich takeover. This is about basically saying, hey, we've got some time. We've got a couple of weeks. We're going to have you come here, Rutte, to meet with me tomorrow, and we're going to have then the Bilderbergs who get to decide where they're going to place their money. Whose side are they going to be on? These trillionaires. Whose side are they going to join with? And me on this channel, I wish we didn't have trillionaire Bilderbergers controlling stuff, but we do. And so you have to rein them in. Trump is using all of this in an incredible design. As he said yesterday, I have the best plan, right? And so as we watch this unfold, we're going to keep watching. We've seen that, of course, it's being reported Iran attempting to do cyber attacks on our energy infrastructure, our water infrastructure, all of this. But I think we have to also kind of see that with all the cells already planted in the USA under the Biden regime and Barack Obama hugely in bringing in this infrastructure of possible Muslim Brotherhood attacks on the USA, they would have been kicking off by now. And we're seeing different things happening. We are seeing some stuff going on, but they're not succeeding. And whether that is Pentagon dominance going on by the leadership of Hegseth and Gabbard and Ratcliffe, that's stopping these things, or whether, and I believe that's part of it, and or that there is huge more things behind the scenes that we are privy to. And so what we saw with JD Vance, basically he talked about that Hungary has prevailed throughout the decades here, way back to defeating Marxism and communism, and they will overcome the EU globalist tyranny. This is JD Vance in Hungary today, speaking to the people who want to re-elect Victor Orban, who is under massive, physical threat, massive assassination threat, to keep Hungary as our ally in this remake of what is the take down multiple notches of the EU and sovereign nations. And Viktor Orban gave a great speech as well, talking about the sovereign nation of Hungary and how important it is to. He basically said, in Hungary, we basically expect that you accept us as we are, or you can go away. We are Hungary. We are the people of Hungary. We're Hungarians, and we don't we're not inviting in the rest of the world. This is our nation, and we're going to protect it, and we're going to be our sovereign nation. Excellent speech by him. And he also said very clearly that Europe's danger is from within. Europe's danger is from within. It's destruction from an internal enemy. Very, very important, and obviously what we know, but important for him to say today as the election is coming on Saturday. And JD Vance had to say, he's talking about Hungary being a Christian country, and he talked about Europe being a Christian civilization. And he basically said that the laws of Moses in Rome were then built upon to become even better by the presence of Christianity and Jesus Christ. And that he said that there is the European civilization is based on the worship of Jesus Christ and the sacrificial worship of Jesus Christ, which is paramount, as I've been talking about in my last video as well. Our virtues, what it means to sublimate our sinful natures, what it means to come with respect, to have natural law with fellow humans, and how that leads to the creation of the best nations on earth, where we actually out of this stopping and limiting the sin, we come to this place where we're able to create amazing things, right? And we're seeing this now, even as Artemis 2, so much going on there, talk about it later, but still, okay, again, after 40 years of NASA and whatever, circling the moon, going further than ever before, supposedly, it's symbolic, if nothing else. We know the secret space program has been going on, the breakaway civilization stuff, all of it, but it's symbolic, this whole situation of what's going on with Artemis in the moon. And so J.D. Vance also had to say that no other devotion in society has given birth to these the broadest freedoms, the highest equality, and the best advancements in society, kind of echoing what other presidents have said before, like JFK, before the 1962 moon landing and all of it, that there is this place where we strive further and go further. And that is part of what this is really huge about this administration with Trump. Of course, with Greenland, this is the expansion of Space Force. This is a civilizational shift, and we're watching it go down. So I'm going to leave it there. This was going to be a shorty today. There's some whispers out there. Maybe we're seeing Russia shooting down some Starlink satellites. Maybe some of those fireballs that are being seen falling from the sky might be Starlinks instead of parts of asteroids, right, that they're mining to bring down into like the Gulf of America, where they want to mine those space rare earths. That's happening too. There's a whole lot going on beyond, which has to do with the secret space program of actually mining asteroids, of I would say even building out asteroids to build terra firma inside of them to create whole new um, 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 you know it is basically what would be called a creation of new environments within an asteroid. That is something that is I think we'll be hearing about and finding out about soon. But today is a good day. We're seeing that that the hair on fire is people can keep worrying about it, keep worrying about everything going on. We do know, yes, it is a growing period here. It is spring. Everything to do with food growth, farming, fertilizer, all of it. The evil, awful thing that we all hate about the glyphosate. Trump doing the executive order to make sure there would be this creation of fertilizer for the United States. Awful and evil as far as the poison, but an interesting aspect of this. And so as we keep going on with this, we're looking at what is going to come down in the next couple weeks. And so, you know, I just want to bring to people's attention, you know, as I said again, the Maga TDS that has erupted, crazy town. I'm just floored by it. I know I keep saying that, but it's like, how did you think we were going to accomplish this economic revival and resuscitation of the U.S. if we don't take down the control of energy by the City of London and the trillionaires, the Rothschilds, at all? The creation of the Board of Peace before all of this is all a planned step-by-step situation. And Trump constantly, as I said yesterday in the information war, constantly puts out these TED puts of, you know, sound crazy town. Let's put him in the bunker. Oh, he's crazy. Easter, they put out all this fake news about that he was taken to Walter Reed Hospital. He's ill. You know, I mean, this is all happening, but we need to understand that that no, it's like it's kind of the Zeus Dionysus paradigm here. You know, like, would you rather be punched in the face or stabbed in the back? Right? That's when you get back to Greek mythology. It's like Zeus versus Dionysus. Dionysus, he comes in, he's all clean and smarmy, and he just, you know, he just loves you up and down. It's all globalism, and then he's stabbing you in the back and he's stealing everything from you. Versus Zeus coming in and just like thunderbolt you, you know, like, you know, lightning bolt you and punch you in the face. We want the punch in the face. Okay, we want to be doing this in the open. Okay, but then there's going to be all the information problem that we have of the massive amounts and glut of access to information that Trump comes out with a hard ball. He always does. It's his same thing about the art of the deal. You know, offer them, death and destruction, and then accept, what he really wants, which is we're going to redo this situation with the Strait of Hormuz. We're going to get the City of London out, and we're going to make it so that America's energy dominance is not going to be threatened and taken down anymore by the European globalist elites. And so it is a huge deal. We're going to keep it going. We're going to keep watching it. But I do want to mention this one thing of what did, you know, coming out with this Maggie Haberman article, and the timing of all of this is, I think, also really important. That this Wall Street Journal attack on Trump, that I think this is part of it, is finding out the leaks. And I think that was part of it today, that there's obviously some massive leaking going on, and they are trying to whittle out who are the leakers in the administration, what's going on here, because we had Haberman coming out saying that, oh, Vance, Rubio, Ratcliffe, they all were like, not that it's not true, but that it's leaked out. Okay, that Israel's claims, and partially it's a twofer. It's a twofer because it's like exposing Israel as being liars. Israel. It's not Israel. It's not the people of Israel. It's Mossad and the operatives that are deep in our deep state, functioning with claws and money and influence and bribery and everything else in our government, basically, promising there's people ready for regime change in Iran. We're ready. It's all ready. It's ready to go, and always being the first ones out there to attack and cause mayhem that Trump supposedly has had to respond to, or has he? When he said, I think actually I might be forcing them. Is there truth to that? Why do we continue to doubt? Why do we continue to doubt? Why is Maga TDS so high? It's very interesting to watch because it is fracturing the movement. It's being a real problem with the midterms, and I just really urge people to get with themselves and look at the broader picture of global finance, of the control and controlled demolition of America over 50 years plus, plus, plus. Who's behind it? City of London, Pilgrim Society, our deep state, all coming out of that. The control of energy, the use of the creation of the Muslim Brotherhood, and the control of everything with the House of Saud out of Israel. Saudi Arabia today, no problem there. They didn't expect any problems in their markets. they knew that already there wouldn't be any massive destruction rained upon Iran. And so when we look at Maggie Haberman and we look at this article leaked, this will be new clues to hopefully rid out some leakers from whatever's going on in the Trump administration. So that's all interesting. We're seeing Todd Blanche. I'll just end it with this. Todd Blanche coming out with this huge presser. He's trying to impress Trump or whatever. So, trying to hold on to that AG position. It looks like he won't be. We don't want him to be. Don't trust him. Um, but basically saying that, yeah, we're going full bore with, of course, Colin McDonald was put in place there as the new AG for the National Fraud Task Force to go full forward. Trump saying that JD Vance is the uh, the fraud czar and all of this, and so we get with Todd Blanche is him coming out and saying, oh yeah, that hospice fraud is especially evil, and of course that's California and the takedown of California. They're looking at possibly $100 billion of fraud out of Medicare in California. We have Secretary Oz coming out talking about it as well, Director Oz, excuse me, as he's in charge of Medicare, etc. And so this is the move on California. The social welfare scams, says Todd Blanche, are massive, and the National Fraud Task Force is going to go on full offense. That the local, obviously, these blue states, the local officials, the DA, the DA is funded by Soros, and everybody underneath the AGs in these states will not be prosecuting the fraud. We're coming in full bore, and so that's good. That's good. Very good. And we did see this interesting, as I sign out here, in Turkey, an interesting shootout where an Israeli official was being housed there in Turkey, because Turkey's central and everything going on here with these negotiations with also just this realignment. But there was a massive shootout at the consulate there, where we see, I think, 2 dead and 1 wounded. And this had to do with, I believe, that they were going after an Israeli official involved in negotiations. So we'll get more as we find out more. So I'm going to leave it there at 32 minutes. Again, a bit of a shorty today, but just trying to bring back to you the fact that we can get over our Maga Tds. We can try to understand this isn't a short solution. This is a step-by-step plan here. Rutte coming tomorrow. NATO, what was decided between their Zoom call of the NATO leaders versus Trump, okay, and what's going on with Iran, and this whole situation of this negotiation around Greenland, and will the USA continue to support NATO, okay, if they don't come on board with Greenland, okay, and this also, of course, as Bilderberg ramps up, and the election, I believe, is huge in here. Their attempt to steal it, their attempt to take out Orban, all of it. This plays into Ukraine, the Ukraine-Russia situation, all of it huge in here as we watch this step-by-step, day-by-day thing unfold. So I hope you found that useful. If you did, please consider, well, definitely please, could you like the video? Could you please subscribe to the video? Could you share the video? Please support this channel, super shadow banned, even on Rumble, and ever since the takedown of You Are Free TV back in the day, not able to get past those barriers. So anything you can do to support, so appreciated. And if you did find something helpful and just added value in this video, could you please support the channel? Ways to do so below. Thank you so much. And I do also want to talk about my incredible sponsor. Look at this bottle. This is c60evo.com/YAFTV, code YAFTV for 10% off. I'm holding up this massive bottle because They gifted it to me. This is now the glass bottles. You hear that? This is glass bottles back in play. They brought the glass bottles back for uber purity, right? To make sure there's no leaching of any plastic. It is amazing. This is the olive oil, the most powerful of all. The ESS60 miracle molecule, that is the highest powered carbon 60 available on the market, made in the best lab in the world. Incredible for what it does to clean out your mitochondria, to support fighting all degenerative diseases. So the big C, central nervous system disorders, all of it. Okay, cleaning out your cells. Cellular health is health. If your cells aren't functioning properly, that's what leads to all the crud that they are constantly poisoning us with, whether it's the spray from the skies, the shot, what's come out of that, all of it. But basically, this will right your cells. It will help your cells get healthy again, basically also through your mitochondria, creating genetic health. That gets into longevity, anti-aging, health in aging, and also fighting what they call inflammaging, where the inflammation cascading events are so much part of what destroys our health over time, makes cells be non-functional. And so anyway, I love these new glass bottles. Gorgeous, wonderful to know that they now have the glass bottles back. And again, this is incredibly single-sourced olive oil that has been grown and grown by generations of the same people. And it has the highest potent amount is the Evo. And of course, people who subscribe to the channel or excuse me, donate to the channel get 15% off and a different code and link sent to you. So with c60evo.com/YAFTV, use the code YAFTV for 10% off. If you've ever donated to the channel or ever do, you get immediately sent to you a 15% off code and new link. And of course, every month I give away 2 bottles of the capsules. Still in plastic. I'm not sure if they're going to change the plastic out for the capsules. I love them because you can put them in your pocket and take them throughout the day, because the general, beautiful, awesome thing is that you just get higher energy, more focus, more clarity, and a calmness and a better mood, and then you sleep better at night. It's just an incredible product. So check it out below. My great sponsor, C60 Evo. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. I hope you found this useful. We're winning. Hello. And this is what this Great Awakening is all about, is winning the war against globalism, global fascism, global totalitarianism, getting energy dominance back to the USA. Energy is the #1 way that the Rothschilds et al., since forever, have been controlling everything through the central banks. And this is our ticket. It is our opportunity. Don't get deranged. Don't get Maga Tds. Stay focused and pray. Pray, pray, pray. Because the prayer opens up your mind. It gives you that solid, centered place where you understand that you're part of something larger, and God gives you your direction for your day, using your talents, your inspiration for how to use your treasure, all of it. So how you move forward in this great awakening in what we are going through right now. So keep the faith. And of course, the faith goes to Jesus Christ and the Prince of Peace. So we are free, and I will see you tomorrow.